And I'm trying to think, like, you know me, man. I love a good, and I know that there's more books, but like this, when it was being made, you know, it even says it's a trilogy. The trilogy was in mind. This was originally going to be a trilogy, so I see it as an ending. And as far as endings go, I really liked it.
Yeah. So for the third
Kind of
book,
like how I feel about Return of the King.
A fair ending to the series. I'm not gonna lie, the rest of it's
I'm glad
great
there's
too.
more. Yeah, I'm glad there's more.
I
Don't
think the
get me
rest of it's
wrong,
great.
but it could
I
have
think the
ended
rest
there,
of
and
it's
I would
great
have been
too,
satisfied.
I get
Really,
yeah.
really good. I love another thing that I love that fantasy books do and space fantasy books do is like this kind of like build to the action where through books where like Fellowship of the Ring is just like a lot of it's small skirmishes and it's just the Fellowship. They're big battles for what you're seeing, but it still is small scale. And then they get a little bigger in Two Towers, and then they get fucking insanely big by the Return of the King. And that's kind of how I see these, because it was like smaller skirmishes the first book. Then we get to the second one and it gets bigger. It certainly is a bigger situation. But, they're just taking Mars back. They're just trying to take the capital of Mars, Helm's Deep. And it's good and it's fucking awesome. And then this one really had like, there's multiple big battles, just like with Return of the King, which I love it. They did it in Wheel Time. They do it in fucking Sun Eater.
Book, yeah.
It just gets bigger and I love it. I'm all about that.
Yeah,
if you can make space battles bigger, space battles.
Yeah, the building towards action is what it's all about, right? It's the difference of that immediate gratification towards working on it or working towards it is what feels, for me, makes me love it.
And Morning Star, this book right here, I mean, it has a fucking hard start. It has a hard, heavy start, as it should. And it sucked me right, because this was another book, much like when I read the first couple chapters of Brissinger, where I was just like, oh, this author's like really good now, like really good at writing. Like they've got some years under their belt now, and they're just popping off with some dark shit, and I'm all about it. Because the first chapter is just Darrow in that cell, like accepting his insanity and like completely being just cut off by the last book, how everything happens. He thinks all these people are dead. Most of them are. He's just mutilated, basically. You don't know how he's going to get out of it. And it's like Han Solo being frozen in carbonite, and they have to cook up a plan to steal him, to get him out of the situation. And I loved it. I loved it so much. You do the fucking Jabba's palace opening and anything, and I'm all in. I'm balls to the wall in.
Right.
And it was so well done. I'm telling you, man, we're 3 chapters in. I figure we're going to be stuck in this place for a while.
I don't know
why. Right away, like 3 chapters in, you think he's gonna get tortured. Once again, you think the story's going one way. Boom, motherfuckers just get capped. There's these undercover Sons of Ares that broke into this jail to save this guy, and we're moving.
There's no time wasted.
We're going from that point.
Well, so imagine for me, I didn't know there was like that the third book was supposed to be the end of the series at first.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time I was really expecting it to be slower, and then it just the whole book is like popping off, right?
Yeah. I'm glad I knew at least like there was a time gap in between, like it told its own story, because I was all like, it does start moving fast, but once again, it gives you a lot of reasons to believe why it's moving so fast. And I'll tell you what, man, the speedness of it really works for me in a lot of ways, because if I can accept everything that happens in the first Mistborn book in that being just one
whole book,
that all happened within the course of these 3 books. Like what happened in Mistborn, like they took down a whole empire in one book. At least it took them 3. So that was exciting, and like it's a bittersweet ending. It is not a perfect ending by the end of it either, so it really leaves it open for more shit. Why not? But I'm jumping way too far ahead. They break this motherfucker out, and you're just getting railed with like information dumps of stuff that you might have missed. And one thing that what I really liked about the ending too, the ending was like they tell you very early on. Daryl finds out that he's been in that cell for 9 months. You don't think about it when you're reading it at the beginning, but later you're just like, when you're finding out that like, oh my god, she had a kid, and you're like, when could she have? Oh my god, they had sex
The
before he
9
was
months.
prisoned.
Yeah.
Oh my god, 9 months. So it was like that was pretty
I
rad.
loved the ending.
It was little moments that he sprinkled in the beginning that I was like, oh, that's so well put. That's so well done. Like I said, I thought the ending was cute. I thought the very end of the book was a cute ending. We'll get to that. I mean, Ares is fucking Severo. I mean, right there, I was going to text you too. I was going to be like, dude, Severo. Of course he is. Of course. Why not? Why would he not take up the helmet? And that's badass. You find out Victra didn't actually die, because there's so many deaths at the end of the last book that you feel like you lost them too soon, and hers was definitely one of them. So when she was okay, I was like, oh yeah, she only got shot in the back, like she could make it. It's space medicine.
Hell yeah.
And the tortures that they go through, and oh my god, it was just so much cool world building while also giving us exposition at the same time. And I loved it. He made it so juicy to just take in like the politics of everything going on. And then it cuts to them like training. They train with the Howlers. They get their bodies back, yada, yada. You know, there's a small training montage for maybe 100 chapters, or 100 chapters, 100 chapters, maybe 50 pages actually.
Yeah.
And then once again, things just start going and going and going, and things, there's so many like aha moments throughout. Like they break into, I'm blanking on the guy that like is one of the founders of the Sun's name, and he's like the money guy. Quicksilver. So they break into his,
dude, how about that pull 3.5 years later?
Good job.
God damn,
I couldn't even remember 3.5 hours later. Quicksilver. And they're invading his place. Right? Yeah. And they beat up fucking what's his face, Mateo, who we knew from the previous book. And it's just like all these connections start happening. And then they walk into the room, and all the fucking characters that you wouldn't think would be together are together. And it's just like, oh boy, oh Jesus, this is all happening.
We're doing it.
And we're doing it again. We're doing it again, and it's not going to stop. And in the midst of things not going to stop, so their plan goes 3 fucking different ways too in the midst of all of this. And they're still just like, we're going to use this chaos that we didn't even plan for to actually go down to that planet and free the Obsidians that live down there and get them to join us.
And build an army.
While this is all happening. With this little revolution that we started. And you're like, okay. And I really thought when we were going down to this planet, I was like, am I going to like this? And I fucking loved it. It got really fantasy on me there. And I liked that. It became a fan. They're on griffins. They're kind of like the dead soldiers in Return of the King, like fulfill your oaths. They're just these like unstoppable forces that like we have a means to acquire for this battle that's on its way, and they'd be very helpful. And they make it believable how they get that. And Ragnar dies. Oh my god, I was talking about this. I love the names of chapters in this book and the stories that play out in it. There's a chapter that's just called Feast, and at the beginning of the chapter, they are attacked by cannibals, or they break into that one ship, and like people are eating, other Obsidian tribal people are eating other humans. So they're feasting on people. We're in a fight where they're like biting and trying to feast upon our main characters. Right. So that's like, oh, feast. That's why it's called that. But then the chapter continues on and ends with them eating pasta and having fucking, character moments together, like it's the fucking beach episode of The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
While they're eating pasta. So it's just like, feast. Like I really appreciate those little kinds of things. And he does that in multiple chapters, but that was one in particular that I was like, I like that. That's
I
funny.
see,
Haha.
Pierce.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so that all happens. What else? What else? What else?
I don't know. You tell me. It's been a while.
I'm trying to think.
All I know is I read it very quickly and I loved it. I have my gripes, but I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do kind of want to get into a little bit of like where I had a little pause. I don't even want to say they're big critiques, but there were moments of
No,
like, there was one thing
it's
that
why the book isn't perfect, and
I
that's
felt
okay.
was very contrived. It's the only thing that I felt contrived. I found it a little unnecessary even. And even the payoff for the scene wasn't really all that necessary enough for me. But it's the one where so a bunch of shit happens. So we're gonna jump around this fucking book. But it's around the jackal or not the jackal, Severo and Victor's wedding time. Like, oh yeah, it's right before that. It's right before that. It's they get the video from the jackal killing Darrow's uncle, and it causes like this huge riot amongst like their people, like the golds that work for them and the reds that work for them and all the colors. And there's like this, like they're capturing the golds and killing the golds that are in their own army. And I was just like, you know, because in one way, the whole time I'm reading it, I'm like, wow, they're really convincing people to join their cause really quick. Like, whatever, I'll go along with it. But like, damn, they're really good at getting a lot of people to join together and fight. So in one way, I'm like, you think these people would hate each other, but they're working together and they've been working together. And it's just like, oh, they saw this one guy that we know sucks kill this guy that they like. So they'd fight
Yeah,
each other to make this scene where they're going to kill Cassius and Severo goes to kill himself. And it's a fine little extra piece of meat, but the whole time I was reading it, I was just like, when they had to like go to the ship to make sure that people weren't killing each other, and they were, I was just like, oh, this kind of seems, you know, contrived. Like, I don't think this would happen at this
right.
point. So I didn't really care for that. See, it was fine. It ended nicely. Like, you got the cool Severo moment, and then he got engaged, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
But like, it was a very odd scene that I could have lived without.
yeah. You know my one complaint, and it's a very broad complaint that at this moment I can't exactly back up with scene by scene. I just think the whole thing is a little too fast paced for me. I think the writing is just a little too fast paced for everything that happens in 3 books, where you could have doubled the page count of each book and it would have made sense to me. Um, and I loved it. It's just, Tori and I call them potato chip books, where you have to set aside some of your, I don't want to say complaints, but you have to suspend disbelief a little bit
Just a
to
little.
enjoy it.
And
And
like
I
I
think in
said,
this,
they earn it throughout.
and it's not that it's not great. It's just
Mm-hmm.
in those first 3 books, you are suspending disbelief at times because it happens so quick. And a lot of that is because he's backfilling things in, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned the scene with Cassius where he backfills in all this time where Darrow is training. That
Mm-hmm.
is,
Yeah.
and that's fun the way he does it. But again,
Mm-hmm.
it's a suspension at times.
There are whole
And it's,
battles that a TV show can cut to and show us that in the
oh
book you
my
didn't
God.
see
And
at
that's what we
all.
said on the phone, is that this series, there's so much more that could be put onto screen that isn't in the book. And
Absolutely.
what's important to me that I've told you repeatedly, very little of, is that the next 3 books thus far is extremely different than the first 3 books. And it's
I'm
where
so
the big
interested.
change is that
Mm-hmm.
I think all of that is gone. That style of writing, that suspension of disbelief, that, where you have to give him a pass on things,
Mm-hmm.
on situations. I think for the next 3 books, you don't have to do that. I think he really takes a step up in his writing and his
I'm excited to see
explanation,
it. I'm
and
excited. I'm excited to see
it's
where things go.
it's
Like
in
how.
it's actually really shocking that
Yeah.
he's able to do that in his next book. it for me definitely says that he could have done it earlier, and I had never heard him say this, but that he wanted to keep the tone the same through that
Mm,
trilogy of books.
mhm.
I think that's got to be the case because it'd be amazing if all of a sudden he just had this ability to write, you know,
But he
an
packs it
epic
in,
fantasy.
man. There, he
I
does
know.
like
But so
it's
that's what the
there.
next
It's
books do
all there.
differently. It's
There's
not
that
packed in
whole.
the same way. It
There's that.
drags out for sure,
There's two or
but
three big space battles in this book that are like
it's
pretty big.
unbelievable. But so for me, I just, I remember reading it and just thinking, man, I wanted some more from certain scenes that,
Mm-hmm.
or just not skipping over certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's like this is like being super nitpicky, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it's
No, I
what
hear you.
by the way, what I'm complaining about is that I wanted more. Like it's
Yeah.
so good that I'm like, can I please
Give
have
me just a
more of
little
your
more of
can I
that.
have
Yeah.
more of your writing, Pierce? I beg of thee. And by
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way, as we sit here today on August 20th, 2025, I beg of you, Pierce, please release the Red God. We want book 7, So it's
Yeah.
not a criticism as much as it's just, but he released the books at a pretty good pace. So you
Yeah.
can't, I mean, at a
I'd
great
say so
pace.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
what the first one released 2016?
14,
Am
I
I saying
think.
that? 14? Okay, so
I think.
14, we're talking 11 years, 6 books. That's pretty goddamn good.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Not a
next
lot of
book's supposed
people.
to come out next summer. So
Yeah, and their quality. They're good
they're good.
books. So
They get better, I'm telling you, in my
dude,
opinion.
I had a there was
I think book 6 is the best book in the series.
good
So.
space battle. The way they like fake out. Oh, I love the battle tactics as they get more. You always know something
He's
fakey outie's coming, but you're excited to see how it
he
goes.
is one of the top action writers too. Like
Oh
his
yeah,
action
it's fun
scenes
to
are
read that action.
they
Oh my
lock
god,
you in. They lock you in where you
when
can't
they
drop it and do something else and come
when they
back to it. You want to
sneak
read beginning to
themselves
end.
onto Roke's ship, when they
Yeah.
steal that fucking ship, so good, man. You go into
Yeah.
this huge battle. It's you're not sure how it's going, but then we just start getting our asses handed to us, and you're like, what is happening? And it's like, remember they said they had a plan and they didn't tell us what the plan was, so now they're gonna show us what the plan is that they had planned.
For
And you're
sure.
and you're so ready to watch it play out. And they do it over and over.
I know, but it's believable every time,
I
right?
fall
You
for
don't
it. I called the one today,
it
but
works.
I did fall for it first when he
I fell for
shot the
everyone.
shit when he shot the shit out of Stavro. And this is also this is one more. It's a goodie and I have a little critique, but I do think in the first person perspective that is Darrow's mind, he should have. There were so many thoughts that he had that were like only somebody who honestly was actually in this horrible scenario would have. Like there's a way of writing around like acting like, ooh, I don't know what's going on. But I just felt like there it was like it just wasn't there to, especially to sustain for as long as it did. There were just moments where I was like, okay, I know that they have a plan, but like the way he's thinking, the thoughts he's having are the kind that only somebody in this shit situation unplanned would have.
Yeah.
Regardless, fucking great. Just
Even
great.
to the
Just so
individual
fun to
battle
read.
level he's excellent. I mean, he's a great writer. And there's no surprise that people love this series as much as they do. Me included.
The ending's fun. I mean, you get those moments like Cassius, you hate him for a minute.
It gets better.
Good. Because you know what?
It gets
I thought
better.
he had like, once again, Star Wars. They did like the Kylo Ren and Rey and fucking Palpatine thing with this, but they did it really well. Like it was fucking awesome. Like Cassius is a way better Kylo Ren. Way better. And you're glad he is. Because that's the thing. He's acting completely. There were too many things that happened during that period of time where I was like, oh yeah, Severo's not really dead, and this is part of their plan because like.
So that is a scene where I was like, man, you have rushed this just a little bit. There's just so much that happens in that one little instance that.
But I believe that so much happened before to set it up. I mean, the whole time that he was like evil again, I'm sitting there thinking, we did not just sit and watch him and Darrow watch fucking videotapes of their lives together
But
in a bedroom.
those golds, they're so easy to sway back and forth,
But
and your
not,
family and your
but they've
culture.
but they've already proven to us time and time again
Right.
that he's not like that. So when he was
Right.
acting a fool, I was like, no, this is way too out of character. And I was right. And that's a good thing. But it made it easy for me to be like, oh, I bet Severo for 20, 30 pages. I was like, Severo took that drug that
I know, you
Darrow
texted to me. I was
got.
like, God damn, dude, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. What the
I was
hell?
like several, like the whole time I'm thinking that because I'm just like, no, there's no way this happened. I'm also like sitting there like, why the fuck are they dragging Severo's body around if that's not the case? So it
You're
just went on a
smarter than
little
me.
like that could have been something they could have like tightened up a little quicker, like to because I
This
was when they shot him, I'm driving in my car and I'm furious. I'm like, this is how this motherfucker goes out. I'm so
No, he
mad.
doesn't die. He can't die. He's too
He's
important.
fucking awesome. Of course he
He's
can't.
awesome.
And he
That's
does
my
it.
roommate,
And
my
he comes
college
back
roommate's
to
favorite
life.
character.
He comes back to life and he fucking starts turning the tide. Oh my god, dude. That whole end chunk of just chaos happening in that
It's
throne
excellent.
room. Oh my
It's excellent. I
god.
truly don't remember it because I read it too quickly.
Fucking at one point, the Loon, whatever the fuck her name is, the main
Yeah,
Palpatine
Alun.
lady, Alun,
Yeah.
she's like dying on the ground. They've defeated Aja, and she's dying, and the queen or whatever, the empress, is like, you will be remembered for out eternity. And Sever just comes in, he's like, yeah, probably not actually, and he cuts her fucking head off and kicks it away. I was just like,
Holy shit.
like, oh my god, there's a lot of moments throughout just this particular book too where you feel that level of energy for the fight and the action that has just taken place.
Oh, you're so invested.
Especially
You're
by this
excited,
point.
invested, excited.
One thing I didn't really get into that I feel like I should have. I've gone on way longer on these books than I ever expected, but I shit, I just lost it. Son of a bitch. One thing.
Cut.
I will, for sure. For sure. One thing.
Cut in, he remembers.
Oh, I wasn't ready yet. What was I saying?
I don't know. You were saying Severo cuts her head off, and that's exciting. We're invested into all these battle scenes.
Mm-hmm. And I started thinking about Ragnar and his people.
The Obsidians. What are the Obsidians doing?
Dude.
I don't know, but they're exciting.
A lot of the heavy lifting in this fucking book, I'll tell you that much. Jesus.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of work. God bless if we didn't have Ragnar and his fucking people.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of how, like, in this book, so you spend the first two books with Darrow being, like, undercover. You spend the whole first two books with Darrow being undercover. And this is the one where, like, his cover's fucking blown. And
he's out and about.
He's out and about. That plot line is done. We're moving past it. He's building his group back together. You're watching it all happen. You're watching now how his brain has ingested everything that's gone around him. And him becoming a better person overall, and his reasoning for fighting even evolves to a more
from hate and anger to a different.
He turned the whole thing just in this book really to go from we're terrorists to we're revolutionaries.
We're trying to build a better world.
Yes,
you got
it. And you believe it. And Mustang's testing him. I feel like that we haven't even said her name this whole time we've been talking.
So spoily.
But Mustang is testing him the whole book. Well, we learn at the end because he's a dad, but you're also like, well, just in this series in general, trust is fucking everything. Like, you don't know who to trust, when to trust, what to trust. But the people you do trust, you fucking trust those motherfuckers as a reader for the characters. And she's just watching to see the kind of man, because she says, I knew a lie for all that time. Like, I wanted to make sure that you were still the man in the lie. And he was better than that. And Why? Because she had a kid. She had his kid, and I thought that ending was really cute. I really
good.
liked that. I really
And
liked
again, a moment. The
that.
ending is so good that I remember where I was and what I was doing, and when
Hmm.
I read it. Right.
Yeah, it wraps up. There's so much that happens. All those big fights, and then the Jackal's like, "Oh yeah, all this is happening. There's a space battle going on. Yada yada yada. Oh, what about the nukes? I forgot about the nukes. Everybody forgot about the nukes. Me, the reader, was like, "Oh yeah, the nukes. There's like fucking 20 pages left." I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" He rips the Jackal's tongue out. Like, you think he might kill
Yeah.
himself to like save all these people? And he's like, "Nope, I'm just gonna beat the fuck out of this dude." I'm like, okay, sure, why
Perfect.
not? And
Sure.
yeah, things kind of happen fast there, but also at the same time, I'm reading this shit. I have time
You
for
love
things to
it.
go a little faster
It's
than
good.
they need to.
He's an excellent writer. I can't
Yeah,
deny it. I love
yeah.
him. I like him as a person too. I like listening to him. It's a great book. It's a great trilogy that I'm telling you, in my opinion, only gets better. Maybe I'll think differently, but
I'm
I
excited.
love
I'll
it
tell
more
you
as
what,
it
I'm going
goes.
into it very optimistic because I had a
Yeah, I think the fourth book is a
rousing good
little
time.
lower rated, or maybe it's the
Mm-hmm.
fifth book. It's Dark Age. I believe it's a little lower rated. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel that way, but dude, the sixth book is unbelievable. Again, I know
Gets
where
me
I was where
excited.
I read that entire book, that sixth book. I was sitting on my grandmother's deck. I read that entire book under this maple tree. Oh, it's so good. And I think the characters get more complex. You get different
They'd have to.
viewpoints.
They're getting older. They're like, yeah, I
They
mean,
do get older.
totally. There's so many more
There's a small
responsibilities.
there's obviously a time jump, right?
Yeah, yeah. They have a whole society to rebuild.
But this is to say, Golden Sun, Morning Star, and Red Rising Book 1. Highly recommend. We
Good
love
time. I
them.
had
We
a
love
really good
them. We
time reading
love
these
you, Pierce
books.
Brown. We'll get you on the podcast soon when we have time. I
Totally.
know we're really busy.
We
You're
are
not as
busy
busy as
guys.
us. We're really busy, but Pierce Brown, you're invited whenever whenever we have time. We'll find time for you.
We'll make it.